Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. This is the American Dream Podcast. It's my first podcast. Don't know what I'm doing. I'm winging it, man, having really good conversations with local people, business owners, farmers, teachers, service members. The gamut goes across the board. The cool thing about the American Dream, it's whatever you want it to be. It's whatever you choose to prosper in. That's what our foundation is about. That's why our country is amazing. So we're not locked into business ownership. We're not locked into teaching. We're not locked into serving the military. I mean, man, you may have a job as an IT manager. You may love your job and make a great living supporting you and your family and being happy. That is the American Dream. We're going to be taking a step through multiple series together. This one is going to be over businesses like restaurants and local diners. We're going to talk to the owners, learn about them, learn about their childhood, and everything leading up to current, which put them into a restaurant locally. So thank you for coming with me on the journey. We're going to jump right into it. Today's episode is with Vittles and Grits in Lawrenceville, Ohio. Lots of good information. Matt and Erin are wonderful people, good hearts, hardworking, and they made some pretty big sacrifices to chase the American Dream. So let's jump into this episode, learn from them about their lives, their upbringings, things together as a couple. It's really awesome to get to hear and kind of personalize, build a rapport with someone that owns a restaurant locally. I want everyone to be able to share that camaraderie and bond, learning about the people that are in our community and working hard to live the American Dream. Let's jump right into it. All right, let's do introductions.
Okay. I am Matt.
I'm Erin from Vittles and Grits.
Awesome. And how long you guys been open?
We have been open as of April 30th, 3 months.
That's awesome. So how's it going? Generalized.
Business has been good. The community's gotten behind us. Little bumps, of course, along the road, but everything right now is smooth. I mean, you're always going to have bumps with restaurant business, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think things are going as good as they can be right now.
That's good. So where did Vittles and Grits come from? Where did the name Vittles and Grits come? Because I remember when I first heard you guys had opened a restaurant, I was like, Vittles? Like, why don't I know what Vittles is? And I looked it up and I'm like, yeah, why don't I know what Vittles are? Like, I was raised by a bunch of hillbillies in Kentucky. Like, why do I not know what this is? So where'd that come from?
So
It came from me because I grew up in East Tennessee.
Okay.
And my parents were born in Springfield, moved to East Tennessee. And living down there, family's big. And we didn't have any family down there. It was just us. So all my friends' grandmothers would say, oh, honey, you need to come by on Sunday and get some Vittles. I'm going to have a roast and I'll have fried chicken and we'll have this and that. So when we were driving around in the car trying to think of names, I was like, it needs to have something with Vittles in it because it's going to be food that I grew up on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that means something to me. And then grits, I love grits.
Me too.
So,
she
Every time I come in here.
Yeah.
Well, she would make it out. Like, so the food that we provide now, I'd get it every day at home.
Yeah.
You know, and breakfast every morning, she's making herself grits. And so when the Vittles came up and we were sitting there thinking, she was like, grits, I got it. Vittles and Grits.
Nice.
Then we all were in the car, Vittles and Grits,
Vittles and Grits.
Yeah, it just kind of rang, didn't it?
Yeah. We ran with it.
That's awesome. Because when I heard Vittles and Grits, I was like, what's Vittles? Like, it caught me. You know what I mean? I'm like, what in the world? So I Googled it, and I'm like, oh, dude, why have I never heard of that before? Like, that's weird to me, you know? Because it's the same way with me. Like, I grew up with a bunch of hillbillies from Kentucky, and that's the exact thing we did. We get everybody together, have a family get together or whatever, and we have the exact same foods, you know?
I had to ask her because I'm from Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
So when I moved up here, I moved into foreign territory, didn't know what Vittles are, don't know what, you know. But I asked her, I was like, what's Vittles means? And she goes, it just means grabbing something quick.
Just food.
Yeah.
Food.
Just eat.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, Vittles and Grits. And then we started going through the menu, and the name landed on the menu. Perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah. That's crazy. The menu. We're gonna get into the menu because I appreciate the menu because, like, you go somewhere and you're like, oh, you got all this stuff, but here you're like, man, I want something I'm gonna cook at the house, and then you come here and you're like, man, I don't even have to cook it at the house, but I'm getting the same stuff. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Childhood. Let's start from the very beginning. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead.
I
Matt,
go first.
Tell me about. You kind of mentioned the Pacific Northwest already. Where you grew up, what growing up as a child was like, all the way up till, let's say, teenage years.
So I was born and raised in Mount Vernon, Washington, which is about an hour north of Seattle.
Okay.
So childhood was good. Go to church every Sunday with grandparents. My grandmother, grandfather were really big church folk. Grew up fishing, hunting, snowboarding. Just typical childhood dream, man. But I lived there all the way up until 2014 and moved here. So
What made you move here?
my dad passed away.
Oh, man.
So my dad passed away. I ended up moving here to be with my mom and my two half brothers. And then I met Erin.
Okay.
So, and
what was, before we go too far, what was, like, as you're growing up, you have this happen, it's like your parents have split up?
yeah, so
Okay.
my mom and dad, they divorced when I was about 5.
Okay.
And so I've always lived with my grandparents.
Oh, okay.
I got my grandmother actually tattooed on my arm. I mean, she's my mom.
Yeah, fantastic.
Love my mom to death, but my mom had nursing school and some other things going on. And
Sure.
so my grandma took over the reins and grew up with my cousin John, which he's a month and 4 days older than me.
So you got to stay in Seattle, or not Seattle, but in Washington,
Oh.
and do all that stuff with your cousin, and
Oh, yeah.
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
so
great.
we, he's actually doing MBA medicine right now for the NBA.
Oh, wow.
So, and he's getting ready to get his doctor's degree.
Well, that's fantastic.
But, me and him were joined at the hip all the way up until about 18, and then he got married and started doing his thing, kind of adulthood, and I
Adulthood
started doing my
splits.
thing. And I mean, we still talk, still call each other on birthdays, stuff like that, but I haven't seen him in a long time. And I know he knows I'm doing good. I know he's doing good. We just stay in contact. So, but a lot of my family is still back in Washington.
Okay.
So,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
yeah.
And what was once you moved here, you said you were 14?
No, 2014.
2014. Okay,
So
so that was recent.
I was 24 years old when me and Erin got together. And we've been together 9.5 years.
You've put up with him that long?
On a rough road.
So what was high school like?
High school was good.
Playing sports or anything?
Nope. Like I said, did a lot of snowboarding and fishing
Okay.
and hunting.
I would do that too if I was up there. That's
Yeah.
probably all I would. Maybe not the snowboarding part, but fishing and hunting for sure.
And when I moved here, people talk about hunting deer, but there ain't nothing like hunting
Elk
bobcats.
or bobcat.
Yeah,
You're right.
big bear. So,
Yeah, you're right.
but high school was good. Ended up dropping out of high school and just got my GED
Okay.
through Olympic College in Forks, and just kind of jumping job to job. So,
I feel like we all do that at some point.
yeah.
Most of us.
One
I'm
good thing
guilty.
about me jumping from job to job is I think it kind of built me up for the restoration of the diner. So, like, I've
Sure.
done concrete work. I've built houses for people here in Ohio. Worked on cars most of my life. So, I'm really mechanically sound when it comes to, like, trying to fix things and stuff like that. But when we decided to do the restoration for this, it really came into play. Because, I mean,
That's fantastic. That's perfect.
Yeah, we did. When we walked in this place and I first seen it,
A mess.
I looked at her like she was crazy. I said, "This ain't gonna work," because it was a mess. I
Well, it's a
mean,
good thing she had a vision.
No, she had. Hey, I will be the first to admit I was wrong. Her vision was right on.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
So, all right, you're.
Aaron, what about you?
Grew up, like I said, in East Tennessee. My mom, my dad, and my sister. and I played sports. I was the nerdy kid, the teacher's pet,
Yeah.
Made good grades, and my parents moved back to Springfield when my senior year. I stayed there and finished high school, and then went to college, and then moved back to Springfield.
Okay.
So,
What was the child life growing up? Like, what kind of you said nerdy things? What are we talking?
well, I was a nerd in school, but I was a tomboy too. So
Just really focused on like.
I was my dad's fishing partner, so
Nice.
we did bass tournaments almost every weekend.
That's fantastic.
Played softball, volleyball, basketball a little bit. I like sports.
So you say tomboy stuff, and I'm thinking that's just good stuff, man. Like, you know what I mean?
It's pretty bad when she outfishes me.
Yeah.
I can't catch nothing when I go with her. She ends up landing one every time. I'm like, oh, honey, let me get it off the hook for you. She's like, I got it. I'm like, okay.
Well, that makes it more enjoyable too, because I've been in relationships where like my significant other didn't want to go fishing but she went with me anyways. You know what I mean? And then like I'll try it, and then it's basically taking a child because you have to babysit them constantly. You know,
Right.
and it makes it less enjoyable for you. So the fact that you guys can share that's great. You can she can do her own thing. You can do your own thing. You guys enjoy it.
We had a lot of common interests when we first got together. We still do, of course, or we wouldn't be together. But fishing was one of them. Shooting, target practice, stuff like that. I had to kind of ease her into because her dad. She grew up around guns. Her dad, loves guns. But one of the things she just wasn't really knowledgeable about them. So once we got knowledgeable about them, now I call her Annie Oakley because she can shoot better than I can.
That's
So
fantastic.
yeah, I mean that and fishing, camping,
Yeah.
Lots of camp.
kayaking, canoeing.
If I wasn't the size of a house, I would kayak.
Dude, I flipped us in the canoe one time. I thought I was drowning her, and then I got the canoe with one arm. You can picture this, and the tree branch with the other hanging onto the canoe because it's a rental. And I'm screaming, Erin, where are you? And I look over, and she's on the bank. Honey, I got my shoes. And I'm going. And I'm about to drown. But we had some good times kayaking and canoeing.
Yep.
That's
Lots of
fantastic.
fun.
So funny story. We mentioned the canoeing. Me and my dad went canoeing. It's something we enjoyed to share. And I don't do spiders though. And he's like, that part of my family's from like Montana, Colorado, Wyoming. It's all outdoors stuff, etc. I get in the canoe. We're going through like a kind of a riprap area on like a bend, and we go underneath these trees. And we're leaning back because the trees are so low, and a big old spider falls on me. And I freak out and roll the canoe, and the water goes into the canoe and drags it straight to the bottom in like 6 foot of like heavy current.
Oh yeah.
So we're getting all of our stuff. We walk back up, and now we got to get the canoe out of this current. So I don't know if you ever fought heavy current inside the canoe. We're going to the water. It was horrible.
Oh yeah.
It was terrible. So I don't go canoeing anymore. Like I'm top heavy, and canoes don't appreciate that. So I just stick to rafts and boats.
Yeah. I don't blame you on that.
Oh, that's really funny. So what are some childhood memories that like really come to mind? Specific memories that come into mind that you enjoy, that you remember like right now, right off the top of your head?
Fishing.
Just fishing?
Fishing at the Samish River. I am the only person to land a 62-pound king salmon on the Samish River with an ugly stick trout pole.
Holy crap.
Walked it 1.5 miles down the river, banked it, ripped its gills out, threw it on my back, and walked it right back up. If I'd have caught it the next day, I'd have won $5,000.
Wow.
So that's one of my
That's
most
nuts.
memorable moments as a kid. And my mom actually was out there fishing with us, and she got to watch it. So
Oh my gosh.
felt like
you guys ate that.
Oh,
100% ate
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, we took the eggs, cure the eggs to fish with again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't know anything about
King
that.
salmon, so when they spawn, if you get a doe, they're loaded with eggs.
Okay.
So what we do is, we'll get it,
Clean 'em
cut
out.
it open, clean it out. If there's a bunch of eggs in there, you lay it out on the screen, throw some cure on it, let it sit overnight.
And by cure, we're talking like salt? Same way as you would
it-
cure like leather maybe?
Yeah,
Like
kind
deer
of.
skin?
It's a special egg cure. You just sprinkle it on there and you let it set, and it keeps the eggs connected.
Oh, it makes them a ball. Okay.
So, and then if you put that I like using yarn, but a lot of people like to use the eggs and put it inside the yarn, and the salmon will come and they'll pick it up. So when they pick it up, you're holding your line as slack. You don't have a little dinger or nothing. And all you'll feel is a little tug, and you'll see your line slowly start moving. And that's when you let that line go and you wrench back and hang on.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. So, I've noticed that with trout a lot of times. It's like, you know, like little brook trout or something, they'll grab a hold of whatever I got, but it's not hard. But then you'll see it start to move a little bit, and you give it a little hook set, and then the next thing you know, I mean, that thing jump. I mean, it's going crazy.
They got a triploids in Washington. It's like a trout and salmon mix.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking.
I bet that's delicious.
She don't like fish. She don't eat fish. So that's one discrepancy me and her both have. I love salmon. I love bass. I love tilapia, any kind of fish, seafood. She just does not like fish.
I liked fish.
You got sick one time, didn't you?
Until my dad decided that I was old enough, because we always, when we would go fishing, we'd always bring home what we caught. My dad would clean it, my mom would fry it. We'd have fish at least once or twice a week. My dad decided I was old enough to help him clean the fish. And something about the smell, I was done.
I couldn't take her deer.
I have not been able to eat it since then.
Like, oh, what do we do now? Oh, well, now we have to cut its throat and like hang it upside down so it bleeds out. And it's bad.
First, you start in the rear and you work your way up with your knife.
Yeah, you do. You literally will go and cut a hole around its butthole.
Yeah.
To loosen all that up. Oh, and then it's great. You would enjoy that.
You stay home and enjoy the jerky that I bring home. And
100%.
As a kid, memories as a kid.
Yeah.
Mine was probably just running the neighborhood, because there was a group of us, like anywhere from 3 to 6 of us. They're all the same age, and I mean, if it was daylight, we were outside. We were playing army, playing war, running in the barn, hiding in the barns, building forts in barns. We built go-karts.
Oh yeah.
We got wrapping paper tubes and made bottle rocket guns.
Oh yeah.
Have bottle rocket wars.
Yeah. Set a house on fire doing that one time.
Yeah. You have to be careful.
Yeah. We were shooting into it though.
Probably that. Yeah.
That sounds fun. I want to make a barn fort and have bottle rocket wars in it to this day. That would be fun. As an adult.
See if you could light it up.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That sounds like a good time. That sounds like some Tennessee stuff, man.
Yep.
You know, you can't do that stuff anymore, man. Your kids can't run the neighborhood anymore.
No.
They just can't. And it sucks because they don't get that experience. You know what I mean? Because like, you guys are about my age, right? I'm 37. Sure, we'll go with 37. I think that's what I'm in. Yeah, 36, 37. So you guys are what?
46. I'm 46.
You do not look 46.
45.
45 this year.
Yeah, 45.
So you're not far off. I didn't realize you were 45. You don't look 45 at all. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Matt?
I turned 36 on Saturday.
You are a cradle robber, Erin. No, that's funny. That's awesome.
I thought if I got him young, I could train him.
It's a work in progress.
Like, training's not going well, is it?
It's a work in progress.
That's real funny. Okay, so mentors. People you look up to, who can you think of that really had an effect on your life?
There's so many, actually. So I hope he never hears this because it's going to go straight to his head. Bruce Williams, auto doctor.
Oh, I'm making sure he hears it.
Yeah, he taught me more than I could ever learn from school about automotive repair. I mean, for real.
That man knows the stuff.
Bobby Hunter, which was my GM at Golden Corral, pretty much on restaurant business. Scotty, I look up to Scotty because the way Scotty treats his customers and just the community.
Scotty's a great dude.
Scotty Pendleton.
I'm gonna make sure I get Scotty on a podcast too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I love Scotty.
That would be
a
awesome.
funny one.
Scotty's great, man. He is fun.
My grandfather, I really looked up to him. He was a truck driver and fell off a semi. Truck driver his whole life. Would take us in the truck cross country.
Nice.
Fell off the bed of a truck tarping it and shattered his whole left arm. never got used to that. The left arm getting shattered.
Oh my gosh.
But still, till the day he died, he was out there mowing the yard with one arm, taking care of my grandmother with one arm. He would drive one arm. I mean, he did everything.
As a man, our responsibilities don't end. You know what I mean?
He was married to my grandmother for I don't even know how many years, but they were married when they both passed, and he was the last one to go. And the way he took care of my grandmother, I will never ever forget, because he was a Green Beret, and he was just the epiphany of what you want to be.
Yeah, he was a man.
Yeah.
Like, not like I identify as a man.
No,
like a man.
Yes.
Yeah.
He'd be out there, and he'd always joke with me and my cousin John. He'd say, "You youngsters think you guys are tough." He goes, "Come out here and cut wood with one arm." And he'd puff up his chest. I mean, he just had it wasn't no bird chest. He had a chest on him. But he was just a hard-working man until he passed away.
You know, they would call that toxic masculinity nowadays.
Yeah.
Because everybody's so soft.
Yep.
You sound like a good dude.
He was. He was the best. He really was. But yeah, I got a lot of mentors, like people that taught me things, and knowledge that I could never repay. But and if I'm forgetting anybody, then I'm sorry. But those are the ones that stick out.
If he forgot you, you didn't make a cut. Get over it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing.
Those are the ones that actually stick out right now the most.
Okay.
Like, that have helped me since I moved here, and I can actually remember back. Mark Overholzer Builders. I used to build houses with them and do concrete work and pouring curb in the wintertime, snowstorm. I mean, they gave me my first job when I moved here. So, yeah, I mean, it was, I had a lot of people that I look up to. So.
What about you, Erin?
I just have to say my mom and dad, probably. So, good foundation.
Yeah, 100%.
So, after that, I mean, I think they gave me a great start. So, and they were polar opposites, which kind of reminds me
Sounds like me and my wife.
Kind of reminds me of Matt and I.
Yeah, oil and water.
Yeah, my mom was super quiet, reserved,
like you.
Didn't have anything bad to say about anybody. Went to work, hard worker, always helped people. My dad cussed, swore, drank. My mom never drank, never cussed, nothing. I mean, they were just opposites, but I think I got the best from both of them. So
that's awesome. Well, I always like to say, like, you don't know what good is until you have some of the bad, where you can compare it. So it's kind of like me and my wife. Like, my wife, super educated, pretty well spoken. I'm going to say some other stuff. I don't want her to actually pay attention to this, but really good, really chill with the kids, and like I'm just over here like.
I noticed that when you guys came in here, she was
curse a lot. I'm super rough on the edges. She's very like, I don't want to offend people, and I'm like, I don't care. like if they need to hear it, they need to hear it. Very much the exact same situation.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you're right, man. Foundation for parents is.
Yep.
I mean, that's like, if you don't have that, I don't think you ever get it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's something you learn. That's why like, I think, we won't get into a whole bunch of political stuff, but with the way our society is going, the single motherhood rate, I think that directly correlates to how big of turds kids are being.
Yeah.
They don't have, like, you can do it as a single mom, but it's easier and more likely that things will pan out as far as foundation goes if you have both people working together.
Yeah.
It just, all it does is make it harder on the single mom or single dad.
Yeah.
And they can do it 100%. People do it all the time.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that were raised by single parents. They're fantastic people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's harder.
Right.
It's harder. It's
and
good to have that partner.
Like, I know we were talking earlier about getting spankings and whoopings and stuff, and I know I'm probably going to get some
everyone's different.
flashback on this, but
yeah.
My dad mainly instilled the fear of God in me.
Yeah.
And my sister from the time we were born. And I never got a spanking.
Because you knew.
Never once. But it was that fear of, oh my God, if I do something wrong, I'm gonna get a
That's
whooping.
right.
But that's what it is.
But I never had to get a whooping, and I think,
and that's
like,
true. Some
my
people
son-
don't need it. They
and
just
my son is the same way.
yeah.
He kind of gives me a hard time sometimes because I've never spanked him, I've never whooped him, but
It's just two
I've never
different
had to.
upbringings.
You know,
Yeah, that's exactly it. He already knows.
Hearing him,
Yeah.
But
and
it goes back to just
Yeah.
two different upbringings. I mean, me and my
Yeah.
cousin John would jump out the yard when we were grounded, go to Richie's house across the alley when we were told not to, and then come back and my grandmother would be sitting there with a wiffle ball bat.
You already knew it was coming.
Yeah, we knew what was going to happen. I mean, I remember when she was breaking spoons across little John's behind because we decided to go down the road and throw rocks at the neighbor's house that we were beefing with back when we were young. And John busted a window, and so my grandmother started grabbing wooden spoons, and every wooden spoon would break. Every time she hit him, it'd break, and he's laughing. And
That's the worst. My daughter does that right now. I spank her. She just laughs. I'm like, I can't hit you harder. It'll be like wrong.
Yeah. So
What do I do?
she was spanking my cousin John, and I started laughing. My grandma's like, "You go get me another wooden spoon. You're next."
That's right.
So I go get another one. Finally, she ran out of wooden spoons, and she grabbed the spatula. And it wasn't one of them plastic spatulas. It had the metal handle and had the hard plastic end. And she lit my cousin John's behind up. He said, all right, Grandma. It was funny.
Yeah.
Until it got to me, and then it was terrible.
Yeah. But no, you're right. You're right. Like, my kids are great examples. Like, you can't blanket discipline kids.
right.
Because kids all receive things differently. Like, my son doesn't like pay attention to anything. He has ADHD really bad. So like, I give him passes on some stuff because like I can see it when I'm talking to him. Like I'll be talking to him and he'll just be like, his brain is just, dude, it's gone doing other stuff constantly.
Yeah.
It's got to be difficult. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like berating him with elbow drops off the top rope, probably not the answer. You know what I mean? But then like my daughter, she's so brazen. She knows that like if I'll be like, you know, Laura, don't touch that. And she'll look at me and she'll turn around, she'll smile and she'll go, ha ha ha. And she'll do it and just stare at me and dare me. So I yoke her up, dude, and I give her to her. And she doesn't care.
That's the bad part.
Dude, my buddy Bruce was sitting there and I yoked her up, dude, spanked her right on her rear end real hard, dude. Like she has a diaper on. You know what I mean? She has like pull-ups on. They're thick. So I gave her some. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No tears or nothing. She turned and looked at me. She goes, ha ha! And she goes, nope. And then my buddy Bruce is like, can't believe it. And I'm like, I'm not hitting her any harder. You know what I mean? Like,
that's child abuse.
Yeah, I'm just trying to spank her butt. Doesn't care. Not even a little bit. So I don't even know what to do. Like, I really, like, I'm at a loss. I had no clue what to do.
Yeah. That's going to be a tough one.
Oh, it's bad. She is my child, 100%. Oh,
I love
it's
it.
bad, dude.
I love
it's
it.
so bad. How did you guys actually meet? Like, were you at Chippendales maybe? No?
No, you're going to
Thunder
be
from down under.
Thunder from down under. So, when I moved here, I was living with my mom and my stepdad, living in their little side shack of their house. And I was working, and Erin, my stepson now, Eli would come over to my house because my mom and Erin were friends, and Eli would come over and I'd babysit him.
Wait, no, your youngest brother, LJ.
I was getting to that.
Oh, Eli and LJ were best friends.
Yeah, well, you and my mom were friends too.
Yeah, but the boys,
Well,
the
the boys-
boys met first in preschool.
So,
and then, because they were friends, his mom and I started hanging out.
so my youngest brother is a year younger. How much younger is LJ?
About 6 months apart.
6 months younger than
Eli.
Eli, my stepson.
Okay.
But Eli would come over to play with LJ, and then I didn't have a job at the time, so I started babysitting. And then we started partying a lot, having bonfires, you know, just the typical being young, 24 kind of thing, and
Card parties.
parties, and
Who wants to play euchre this afternoon?
yes,
Yeah.
a lot of spades. But I asked her, I asked you to go to the casino with me. And I
we
said,
were all supposed to go, a big group of us.
And
one by one, they all backed out, and it was only him and I left.
Guess we're going on a date.
Yeah, so we went to the casino. We went a couple times. And then one night we came back, and she dropped me off, and she texted me and said, well, hey, maybe next time we should try kissing. And I texted,
a good night kiss.
Yeah, maybe next time you should give me a good night kiss. And so I texted her back, and I said, well, come pick me up right now. So, and this is at, remind you, this is at 3:30 in the morning. So we're living in the house we're living in now. She turns around in the driveway to come back and get me, and I was literally running from the fire station down the road to meet her halfway.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of how
And he moved in the next day, and
all the rest of
that
it's
was
history.
No crap.
Yeah, and then the rest of it's history.
Wow.
I moved in the next day and bought a chainsaw. Started working on the house.
yeah.
So that was my job.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's how we met.
That's awesome. That's pretty funny. So it's kind of funny that she was the one that like took the initiative, because when me and Brittany had met, she had messaged me on Facebook. I didn't know her at all. No mutual friend, nothing. We have mutual friends now that we had to dig through, but never knew each other. And she messaged me. She was like, "Hey, how are you?" And I thought it was like spam, because I'm like, who's this attractive chick talking to me on Facebook? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my very first sentence to her was, "Why are you talking to some fat hillbilly?" That was my very first sentence to her. And her response was perfect. Her response was, "I like fat hillbillies. You want to take me out the state and let's go to the shooting range?" I was like,
I'm in love.
done. And that was it. That was it, man. You know what I mean? That's really funny.
But the cool thing about it, like the relationship kind of along those lines, is to the diner. So she used to bring Eli, her son, up here in a pumpkin seat when it was
the
diner
coffee
before.
place.
No, it was B&K.
Oh, that was after the creamery, wasn't it?
Yes.
I got
So her and my mom met up here eating. So that's kind of like down our crazy path, how this place kind of falls into our
comes full
lives.
circle.
Yeah.
That's perfect, because the next thing I was going to ask you was, how did getting a restaurant become a thing? How was it, like, you guys woke up one day and you're like, I'm tired of working for the man. We're doing a restaurant.
So that's pretty much how it happened.
Okay.
I worked in pharmacy for 25 years.
Yeah, Whitaker's, right?
Matt and
Or, Matt, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that's what I meant. Yeah.
And I was just burnt out, COVID. I mean, just
I'm done.
25 years of it. And I love to cook. I love to socialize. I think I like food and socializing kind of go hand
Restaurant's
in hand.
it, isn't it?
And I'm like, I've got to get out of the pharmacy. What can I do? Like, what are my other skills? You know, what are my options? And so I came home one day. I had a bad day and I was over it. And we were sitting on neighbor's porch. And I said, Matt, let's just sell the house. So I'm quitting my job. We'll sell the camper. We'll sell the motorcycle. I was like, let's rent a place, buy a food truck, and Eli will be a senior, next year.
We ain't got to deal with him no more. Like, he's a grown man just about
We can take the food truck wherever we want to go. It's a mobile, if we want to move to Florida, we can take the food truck with us.
She came home and said, let's sell the house.
That's a lot.
She came home and said, Matt, we need to talk. And I'm thinking, oh boy, what I do now?
I know that feeling.
So when she said, I want to sell the house and the camper and the Harley and start a food truck, I said, whoa.
Slow down.
Your brakes. I said, we'll sell the house and the camper. The Harley's not going nowhere, and we'll start a food truck. So once we were throwing out names, driving around, and we were thinking about it, food trucks, we were looking at them online.
They're so expensive.
And one day we kept driving by the creamery, driving by here.
And then it was always sad for me every time I would drive by because it sat empty for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
And to me, it was memories of bringing my son up here. We would come up here once or twice a week. And we talked to everybody, the waitresses, they loved Eli, the customers, we'd all sit together. And every time I would drive by, I would just think, God, it's so sad. It's just sitting there.
Wasting.
Yeah, just wasting away. So finally, the owner, Norma, lived next door. She passed away in December. But she would always sit in her front window or front door, and I'd see her sitting there. And one day I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to stop and talk to Norma and see if she wants to let us reopen it, like what her thoughts are. So she said she had about 15 to 20 people over the past couple years come to her, and they weren't the right people. And she didn't want to reopen it. She got burned on too many deals, here at the diner. And she said, why? Do you want to open it? And I said, well, I was thinking about it. And she said, well, I think you might be the right person. She said, you think about it for a couple days. I'll think about it for a couple days, and you come back and we'll talk. So.
And then when we got a chance to look at the inside, Norma came in with us. So when I was working for the auto shop.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and so when we walked in, I'm thinking from restaurant business experience I've had, okay, what's going to need to be done? So as soon as I walked in that door, I took a look around and I said, absolutely not. This is not going to happen. Like, this place needs a full makeover from the front door all the way back. So she wasn't letting it go. She said, no, I think, just imagine. She goes, have a vision and imagine. New lights.
This is why it's important for us to have good wives, bro.
Yeah, and she goes, just think, new paint, new appliances, new everything. She goes, we can make this nice, me and you. And I said, well, if we do this, I'm quitting my job. I'll put full time in here and we'll get it done. She goes, I want to do it. And I said, all right. So we started a week after that. She put in her notice at the pharmacy. I told the shop that I was quitting, and we started gutting. We started with electrical, putting all new lights in, new water lines, new backflow preventer, new griddle, new
toilets, new faucets.
New faucets. I mean,
you guys had a shelf.
Yeah. We pretty much did what we could to update it and bring it back to life. Because
there's a lot of people that appreciate that. Like,
oh, absolutely.
I've talked to Scotty, and Scotty was here when the creamery. He was always up here. That's how he knows my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my wife spent a lot of time up here. It was the creamery, and when I brought her in, she was like, "It feels good to be back in this building."
Yeah,
because same situation like you had, like from B&K or whatever.
Right.
Like,
it's always been a staple in the community since
100%. And it's
1920,
and it's the perfect community for it.
Yeah,
it's it's kind of older groups of people. There's no crazy young little riff-raff people, and it's like a perfect little mom and pop spot, man. It really is.
And one thing I like about it is our regulars, which we have so many of them, we know them by name.
Yeah.
And anybody that walks through that door, they're pretty much, we treat them like family. Hey, how's it going today? How you guys doing? What are you guys out doing? We don't just say, hey, here's a menu.
What do you want to eat?
Yeah, what do you want to eat?
Oh, yeah, let's
you want
go.
something to drink? Here, let's go. No, we encourage people to sit here and conversate and talk and meet other people. And, like, our regulars, if we don't have that light on, like this morning, we opened at 6 a.m. this morning. And we had a group of regulars out there at 5:35 in the morning. And we opened the door. We let them in. We say, hey, guys, you guys can have a seat. We'll get you a cup of coffee. We're not ready yet, but, we'll let you guys in. And they come on in, they get their coffee, they look at their newspaper, and about 6 o'clock, we're rocking and rolling.
See, as someone who's like my age, so like same age group,
mm-hmm.
For me, I appreciate places like this because, for example, if I go, I don't know, insert any other restaurant.
Yeah.
People are there doing their thing. We're at our little table. Whoever I'm with, I'm talking to, whatever. But like me and Erin come here all the time.
Yeah.
Dude, when we come in, not only do I enjoy sitting talking to his fat rear end, but we're sitting next to a table with, guys that are 60, 70, 80 years old that are just, they're chopping it up with each other, talking about old stuff that's happened and things going on. Dude, I love being around listening to that.
Yeah.
Listening to what they've got to say, listening to their stories, listening to their wisdom. You know how many times I've sat here and talking to Scotty about just farming and stuff.
Eddie,
anything.
Yep.
And that dude is so full of knowledge, and people my age normally don't get that.
No.
Right.
They think they know it already. They don't get that. But places like this facilitate that old group of Tell me if I'm wrong. This morning, your normal group of people with probably like 4 dudes in their 70s, 60s come in, got coffee sound, just BSing the whole time.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Pretty much.
That's great.
And the good thing about it is, like she said,
I love it, man.
when we opened this back up, we didn't have the mindset of getting rich or making millions of dollars or anything like that. We had the mindset of, okay, we can service our customers with a decent priced menu, great food, great service, and make a little bit on top just to pay our bills.
For sure.
Make a living, you know? And we
That's
want
the community.
Yeah,
It's fulfillment.
Yeah, we wanted a place for people to come in. If you don't want to order out to eat and just come in and get a cup of coffee and BS with your neighbors, you can do that here.
Yeah.
We're not, and that's the good thing about, I think, I can encourage on little mom and pop shops.
We need them.
Yeah.
We need them.
These chain restaurants, they're in it for the overhead, the money. We like the conversation, the knowledge, the hearing the history behind everything. I'm still learning about history behind this building.
Yeah.
So, and
We've got our pictures, the old pictures on the back wall.
Yeah.
And they're from 1920s and forward. And today I've had probably 6 people come in and say, "Oh,
I remember
that's my
this.
great grandpa."
Yeah.
Or that's my uncle, and I was 3 years old when that picture was taken.
That's so cool.
So it's neat to
I think
see that.
Well, and then I think like Sunday, we were busy, right? And something stuck out to me really good is just because we're busy, we still take time to go and talk to our customers.
For sure.
Being owners. So I'm sitting here talking to a gentleman at the very back table. Don't know who he is, but he's telling me, hey, that's my family up in that picture. And, I'm listening to the story. And I said, that's awesome. And he goes, I'm from Nashville. We're down here for a funeral.
Oh, wow.
But he goes, since the creamery, I like what you guys did with it. He goes, and it's real homey feeling.
Yeah.
And I said, I appreciate that. So then his bill, he brought his mom in and his wife. And the wife and him were from Nashville. And he walked up, and I think it was like $27, man. Something nuts.
Man, not bad at all. I spend
for
almost
3
that by
people.
myself at B-Dub. Well, I do spend that by myself at B-Dubs.
Yeah, it was like $27 for all 3. And he goes, I said, do you need a copy of your ticket? And he goes, nope. He goes, I want you to show that to your wife, and I want you to tell her and all your staff that I said, that was awesome service. Great food.
That's fantastic.
And I appreciate you. And he took us all $100.
Holy smokes. That's
and
so
that's
cool.
like that to me. That was like, wow, we're actually doing. We're doing.
It
okay,
feels so good, doesn't
And she, like I said, our waitresses, our cook, we made sure all of them got a chunk of it. Like our main thing is our staff right now that we have on is phenomenal. So
That's
like
hard.
our waitresses.
That's
Well,
hard.
and we have a good crew. We have a good secondary cook because my wife cooks, Erin cooks a lot of it. But our staff is like people that used to work with us. So like Susan, for instance, that works Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as a waitress. She used to work with Erin at Madison Avenue, which she still does.
Is that the older lady?
Yeah,
she's real nice. I like
she
her.
works 2 jobs.
She was
7 days a week.
She was telling me the story about how she got here. She was like, I came in to see him or something like that, and she was like, the next day I was working here. I was like, what?
So she has been awesome. Eli, my stepson, he works on the weekends that he can here when he's not at his
He's a
staff.
tall, skinny kid?
Yep.
I've seen him.
Yep, the afro kind of hair
Yeah,
that
kind of
sticks
flipped
up.
up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jace, which is a kid that I used to coach in baseball, he works in the back with me. Tisha, which used to work with me at Golden Corral, she's been awesome. And, our customers come in because they build relationships with our staff as well.
For sure.
And Tisha will bring in, like, I didn't have lemons for water. Like, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I would.
Tisha, the next day, Tisha comes in with 2 bags of lemons, says,
Hey, you should add this to it.
yeah, the customer was asking for these, and we didn't have them, so I brought them in for him.
Oh,
Next
that's
time he
super nice
comes,
of her.
She brings in juice boxes for the kids, which I didn't think about,
I would have never thought about that either. Like how like Capri
We got
Suns
milk
or
and
something.
orange juice.
Yeah,
That's good.
she went and got Nestle's syrup to make chocolate milk on the fly for kids that ask for chocolate milk.
What do you guys do for advertising?
So,
Or plan to do?
I think our best advertising is word of mouth. Honestly.
Sure.
And we encourage people, if you like it, hey, tell a friend, bring them next time you come,
Yeah.
I think that's done more than anything for us.
As busy as I see you guys,
But,
when I come in, like, my God, like,
we
you
don't
guys
advertise.
really advertise? Like, you would need a whole big building.
I know.
I think a lot of like recent advertisement.
Oh, the food fiends.
Oh, yeah, that's
Mark
true.
Food Fiends
Yeah.
blew us up. I think, but a lot of the recent activity has been because of the car show coming up, June 10th. So, like, I've been handing out flyers. We finally got approval from the city and from the township to put on this fundraiser for St. Jude's, June 10th, and it's going to be phenomenal. We got so many donations from a lot of local businesses. Twin Our Quality Meats, they're donating a basket for raffle. Pendleton's Produce, Gibson Feed and Tack, he donated a Hunter's Bucket.
Ooh.
Premium Hunter's Bucket.
Sammy Ball and Julia Ball, they donated for a raffle, a 5-hour free rental at the schoolhouse. Just a lot of local businesses.
Toolbox.
Yeah, me and Pendleton's Produce went in on about $1,000 toolbox, so that we'll raffle off. All the proceeds are going to St. Jude's.
Nice.
We're going to have one of our regular customers donated $500 to first place winner of the car show, $200 to second place, and $100 to third. So we got
That's June 10th?
June 10th,
Okay.
4 to 8. We'll have the street blocked off in front of the diner. We'll have gators for the elderly. We'll have event parking at Everroll down at the corner of Valentine and Lawrenceville Drive. Let me think. We got a food truck coming out, so
We're providing food.
we're providing food. We're providing.
What food truck's coming out?
Yeah. So Carla Wagner, she's coming out. She'll be doing Philly cheesesteaks, Italian sausage, French fries, and lemonade. So you have your choice from her, or you can come to the schoolhouse, get one of our fine burgers. I love them.
Or fried bologna.
Or fried bologna.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah, we're going to have fried bologna, cheeseburgers, hamburgers, bag of chips, soda. Just kind of a meal deal, and it's going to be a good time. We're going to have 50-50 raffle. We're going to have music. And I know it's crazy to sound like this, but I'm already starting to think next year. Which
you have to.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, second annual, we're going to name it Lawrenceville Takeover. Have a bunch of hot rods out there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and vendors. I want to do vendors, like a swamp meet kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the first one this year. I think it's going to be something special. This town.
You'll learn a lot out of doing this first one.
Oh,
You'll
yeah.
kind of see,
Well,
like, oh man, I didn't think about that. Yeah,
and
100%.
this town hasn't had nothing like that since bullskin days.
In the 80s, they used to do a bullskin day, and they'd have a parade. They'd close down the street and have a parade, and then have like a street market, where people could set up
They haven't
and
had
garage
nothing
sale.
like this before here.
That was the
That's-
80s.
That was the 80s. So, I mean, Tremont, they have a little car show every year. Northampton has a little car show every year. New Carlisle has a car show. And my whole thing was, when we started doing this, I'm like, you know what? Why don't we have something like that here in Lawrenceville? We're a small community, but, so that was another thing of us giving back is when we started thinking about charitable organizations, we wanted to do something that was personal to us. So St. Jude's pretty much saved her life when she was young. So she was the one that came up with, hey, and we've been to Memphis, donated at St. Jude's before. So it fit right in. We were like, you know what? Yeah, let's do a fundraiser for St. Jude's. Let's make that our charitable organization because they do so much for kids.
Yeah.
And I just think it's going to be awesome, dude. But we've had so many people come in. I went through so many flyers. I've had so many shares of my flyers on Facebook. And I think it's going to be a good turnout.
I hope so, because in my opinion, like, even though I haven't got to experience St. Jude, I know what kind of things they do for kids. And as terrible as this sounds, I don't care about adults. I really don't. Like, I care about children.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you can't get behind what St. Jude does, you're a bad person, dude.
Yeah.
I don't care Like, I'll go on there and say that you're a bad person.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't want to donate to it, it's fine.
Right.
But, you know, you should at least understand and be behind that cause. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm excited for it. Maybe I'll steal my dad's Mustang and come out. Turnover. Let's talk about turnover. This is a big deal everywhere. How hard is it to really get someone to actually want to work? I've noticed that's kind of an issue.
So,
you
go ahead.
So we have the hardest thing I think we had was to find a grill cook. And we found a girl, she's young, she's just turned 22. Never had grill cook experience per se, but she came in to interview and I talked to her and I could just tell she had a good attitude.
That's important.
You know.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let's do a week trial. Since you've never done anything like that before, we'll just do a week trial. And then after that week, we'll meet and we'll decide you're a good fit, you're doing great on there, you don't like it, you know, whatever. And then we'll decide whether, you know, we're going to offer you a job or whatever. She was all for it. And 100%, whatever you tell her, she takes it and runs with it. I mean, she doesn't make excuses. She doesn't, well, what happened? What, you know, she just says, okay, I understand. I'll do it this way, you know, and just doesn't question it. She shows up on time.
That's nice.
She comes in, we're slammed, and she doesn't live far from here, so I can call her. She's here within 5 minutes, ready to work, ready to go. So that's made a huge difference.
That's great.
Huge difference.
I mean, it's just one of those things where we found out through personal experience, she can't be on the grill 24/7.
Oh yeah, it's way too much.
That grill is a lot, and it's hot. And so when we started looking for a grill cook, I mean, I was a little like, if I'm back in the kitchen working my butt off, why can't you do the grill? Well, then I stood up there. Yeah, it's
hot. Just the smell and all the stuff.
Nonstop.
It's a
so
lot.
when we hired Kiara, it was,
and that's the girl that just left.
Yes.
Yes, I ran to her because she's the mother of one of the kids I used to coach in baseball.
Yeah. So she has been a blessing to our staff, to our team. She's been working with us for what, 3 months now? 2 months? 2 months? 2 months?
About 2 months.
About 2 months. We've been over for 3 months, so about 2 months.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy it's only been 3 months. Man, I feel like it's so much longer than that.
Right.
Maybe it's because I've eaten here like 400 times.
Yeah, we went from after 7 days a week for 7 weeks straight, just to see what our slow day was.
Yeah.
She wanted to keep going 7 days a week, and I'm looking at her like, honey.
I mean, you can, but you're gonna get burnt out.
You're gonna kill me.
For sure.
Like, I kept telling her, you're killing me.
Yeah.
I can't keep doing this. You're killing me. She's like, quit it, you weenie. Get up. Let's go work. Which, hands down,
I'm a workaholic though. I can work every day, all day.
She can work circles around me, that's for sure. But, yeah.
It goes back to the parents' work ethic.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I get it.
But like, turnover is not that bad.
It's funny.
Turnover is not that bad. We've had a couple bumps along the road, a couple things being new owners that we had to figure out what fits, what doesn't fit. A lot of hard decisions to make, like kind of like involving family with business.
That's a big no-no, man.
Well,
I mean, you can, but there has to be an understanding.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to somebody that fired his own mother. I mean, I
get it.
And everybody probably on here is going to think, oh my goodness, he fired his own mom. But no, you got to understand, there's certain moms.
If you're running a business, your mom comes in and she's doing anything that is like, not maliciously, but like doing something that's going to like ruin your business, that's a problem.
Well, and she wasn't even doing that. It was just one of those things where she didn't like the fact that she had to answer to her son. So, and it was one of those things like, well, you're my son, you're not my mom. No.
Let's talk about your food and why certain things are on your menu. Like, what made you want to do certain things, and then what would your signature dish be? What's your signature thing that everybody's like, man, that's the best?
I would say the menu was all me. And it was just food that I grew up eating, like what I would consider like comfort food. We used to go to a place called the Bean Barn, and
that is 100% a place in Tennessee.
It was the most popular place for lunch. They were only open for lunchtime. That was it. And you got stew beans and cornbread,
Yes.
or you could get a greasy hamburger. That was it. And I love stew beans and cornbread. You can't hardly find it around here.
You can't, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we definitely have to have stew beans and cornbread. And then the other little place was a cafe, and it was set up kind of like we're set up here, about the same size. And you could get grilled donuts and grilled honey buns, and you could get your sandwiches on grilled donuts and grilled honey buns. So I'm like, we have to do that. And grits, you cannot find grits within 100 miles of here.
Not real grits that
I
are
would
yummy.
consider grits, and they're good. So we have to have grits and fried potatoes. I love fried potatoes, so we have to have that.
Mm-hmm.
Biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy is a no-brainer.
That's one of our big sellers.
I would say soup, beans, and cornbread, biscuits and gravy, and grits.
Our omelets are pretty big too.
The omelets, everybody really, the omelets are catching on. People weren't ordering the omelets at first.
That's what I had last month. It was really good.
And
I loaded it full of stuff.
Yeah, they really started
The
catching on.
burgers have kind of picked up too, though.
Burgers are good. Yeah.
I'm
We
not
put
just saying that.
I'm surprised you don't have more people like all about the fried bologna sandwiches.
Oh no,
Fried bologna is
fried
like a
bologna's
staple.
pretty good too.
No, yeah,
And
we go through
quite a bit of bologna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I would say our goal on the menu, at least to start with, is to have a small menu, but do everything well. We
Yeah.
didn't want 500 things and going in 10
Mediocre.
different directions. And
and I mean, you gotta think,
So-
we also decided, like,
our mac and cheese, people like that too.
yeah, we wanted to, originally, our hours from 6 to 6. And with being that late, you have to run dinner. You have to
A whole
run
nother
dinner,
food
so it'd be
expense.
another food expense, it'd be another food cost, it would, it goes into
more
numbers.
stuff on the menu.
Yeah, it goes
100%.
into numbers. And so one thing that we wanted to do to better accommodate our customers is to keep the menu small but variety.
Yeah.
And, pretty much you come in the morning, we don't like doing lunch until 11, but you come in the morning, you order a cheeseburger, we're not going to deny you that cheeseburger.
You better not say that. I get a cheeseburger every time I come in here at 7 o'clock.
We've had customers come in here, and they're like, I know you guys don't do lunch till 11, but would it be too much of a hassle if I get a hamburger, some fried potato? We're like, yeah, why not? I mean,
Yeah.
but
My theory is if we have it here, just because it's not on the menu, if I have the capability or I have the stuff here, we'll make it for you.
so like we've added
So,
on
French toast. We have like a lot of secret menu items. So French toast isn't on the menu, but we have probably a half a dozen customers that order French toast. One person ordered, they're like, oh, I really want French toast today. Can you make it? I said, sure. Somebody saw her get it. And then
Next thing you
the
know, you
day
got a
come
whole
they
rant.
wanted French toast. And
Yeah.
then somebody else saw it. So now there's like,
Now when you come in, you're like, well, I guess I better get a Lexan and mix up some milk and eggs and
right.
some sugar and some cinnamon and
Yeah.
the cool,
And we've got salads now, which
yeah,
oh, that's
aren't
cool.
on the
we have grilled
menu,
chicken
but we've had
salads,
lots of
we have
options
chef
for salads.
salads.
Side salad.
Coming from someone who, like my wife, for example, if y'all just edited your menu and put a grilled chicken salad on the thing, I think you'd sell a lot of those. Because
We sell
my wife's all about that stuff.
Yep, I put it on the special board.
Oh,
'cause
okay.
We're getting so many requests for it.
There you go.
So it's on there now. The other thing is, it's not fast food.
No.
No, for
It's
sure.
made fresh, and if if that's the only
If you come in
really
here
complaint
thinking,
we've had is they want to come in and get a 30-second McDonald's burger. Here you go.
Yeah.
I had a guy come in here one time, and he was at the bar, and he was getting ready to go on the grill, but we had because we do to go and delivery.
Sure.
So nobody gets bumped up. You get your ticket put up in order that it's goes up.
Yeah, of course.
So we had his burgers, him and his buddy's burgers, on the grill. He's been here maybe 10 minutes. He goes, You guys don't have my burger done yet? Well, how much do I owe you for this drink? I'm leaving. I didn't know that it was going to take me 15 minutes to get a burger.
He said, I shouldn't have to wait more than 3 or 4 minutes.
I wanted to tell him, sir.
So this is a restaurant. This is not a fast food.
No, we're not fast food. I mean,
one customer he always says, this is good food, not fast food.
No, great food, not fast food.
Yeah. If you want fast food, go down the hill.
Yep, go to McDonald's.
But that's my key thing is everything is fresh. Get as much as we can from local people. And just, try to support other small businesses. Yeah. And then,
like
let the rest work itself out.
We get a lot of our stuff from Restaurant Depot, which is down in Dayton.
Yeah.
It's like a warehouse for restaurants. We
go
shopping there a lot. But
we can get our bulk flour, to-go packages.
Now, some of our cheese comes from there. Now our produce, we go through.
Yeah, local vendors, right?
Yeah,
so
we go through Pendleton's produce. My meat, I was getting at Restaurant Depot. Quality or Twin R quality meats. They said, we pay a little bit more we charge a little bit more for our meats than what you're getting it down there for, but we're willing to match the price just to get your business, to keep it local. We went with them. We ran.
And the quality's probably hell of a lot better.
Oh, and I mean, they delivered our front door.
Oh,
we go
nice.
out there if we need something on the fly. I can drive out there to where they're located and pick it up, and they've just been awesome. I mean, they call us.
You said it's Twin R?
Twin R quality meat, so it's down in Christiansburg.
That's the one in Christiansburg. Okay.
Daniel Miller used to own it. Okay. He stopped in here one day, and he gave me a card and said, if you guys are interested in, switching to local, we can provide delivery.
Just come by, check us out to our facility, see what we offer.
We went out there on a Wednesday when we were closed. Awesome. And of course, I walked in and walked out with 2 New York strips. And
a huge bag full of, they gave us a pound of like 3 different hamburgers, 3 different bacons.
And one thing I like about them is, they weren't shy. They said, hey, here's this, try it out. If it's something you guys want to get into and it's good quality, let us know and, we'll work with you. And I'm like, all right. So we tried it out. Yeah, it's been awesome. We've been working with them for the last 3 weeks or something like that.
Nice.
They've just been stellar.
Don't you guys get your ham from some Amish people or something?
So we get our ham and our bologna from Scotty, which Scotty gets it from Bainbridge.
Okay.
From Walnut Creek.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
See, that's great, man. People don't understand. Like, it's crazy. I used to buy hamburger at, like, Walmart and stuff, and stuff like that. And then, like, we went and ended up buying, like, a whole cow, like a half cow or whatever.
The taste
is so much. It's so much different, especially when it's, like, because we got Black Angus. Mm-hmm. Dude, yeah, it's a little more expensive, but not by much.
Right.
With it butchered and everything, us to go pick it up, it was only like $5.25 a pound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is fantastic, man.
And you cook your burger and it stays the same size. It doesn't shrink up to half this.
Yeah, even if you get like like for burgers, I prefer doing like a 70-30 because I like a lot more fat in it. But even after I cook my burgers and the fat renders out, it's still of good size. It doesn't shrink up a lot. But if you also notice, there's a lot of like water, like liquid, not fat. Liquid that kind of comes out of it too. Mm-hmm. That's not typical at like a restaurant or something, or like a burger from Walmart or Kroger.
Right.
It is fantastic, and the taste,
they're juicy.
100% different.
Yeah.
100% different.
And they do a fine grind on their hamburger meat, which it almost just kind of melts in your mouth.
Oh yeah.
And that's one good thing about us. Like we do our seasoning, which I'm not going to disclose what, but we do our seasoning and stuff.
I'll get that information and bring it back to you guys.
We do our seasonings in the back, and then we take our tub of hamburger out in front, and we make up the patties right there in front of you.
Yeah.
Like our cook.
Exactly.
Our cook will roll it up. She'll squish it down, and
these aren't out of the freezer.
No, they're not. No, absolutely not. It's like I tell everybody: everything is made in the house. Everything is made, cooked to order. Everything is fresh, and it's like living at home, coming into your house.
And that's
ready to make dinner.
And that's crazy to me because, like I said, as someone who's looking like at stuff for food truck stuff, finding a balance of like bringing quality to your customers and making enough money to actually make it worth doing.
Right.
That's a very hard thing to do. And the fact that your prices are so cheap, but you're still doing all this stuff in house, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's got to be a hard balance, man. It has to be.
It is, but it also, like, our customers are awesome. Before we even switched to Twin Arc, we had one customer, that's all he orders in the morning is sausage. And we had the sample patty. And, hey, you want to try this? Let me know what you think. You know, we're thinking about switching to a different, you know, because our customers' opinions matter to us.
100%.
So when we gave it to him, he goes, Matt,
this is way better.
This is good. He goes, this is good sausage. And I'm like, okay. So then we gave it to another guy on a sandwich. Hey, try it out. Let us know what you think. We switched up sausages on you, you know. Tried it. Hey, I think that's good sausage. You guys need to switch up. Definitely. So we're like, hey, look, let's just make a decision now. You know
sure.
what I'm saying? The bacon that we get from them, we get the thick cut, and it's awesome. I mean, everything's going smooth, but the balance on the pricing. So, like, when we came up with the menu, like, this is our second version of the menu that we have out right now.
Okay.
Some things just opening up, you know, first month we lost money on, you know.
Yeah,
100%. We were a little bit under.
Yeah.
But we were able to balance everything out, and a lot of the things we didn't touch. A couple little things we might have boosted up $1, if that. Just for the simple fact that we were actually losing.
At least we're not losing.
You
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, like I said in the beginning, we're not out to become millionaires. We're not out to be rich or make money off of our community. What we want to do is make a living.
Sure.
And that's all we're doing right now. I mean, everybody thinks because you own your own business that you're rich. I tell you, it's far from that. You got food costs. You got employee costs. You have double the rent and mortgage, or whatever you want to call it. You have double the lights, double the water, double the gas. And, you know, you got to balance everything out from personal life with
It's a lot.
And it's a lot.
It is.
And we got 3 dogs at home, and I feel so bad because when we started doing this, we're never home. And my Rottweiler's my life.
Get them trained up real good and let them come around and hang out in here and meet people.
My Rottweiler would be a bull in a china shop. He is 170 pounds, a big old blockhead on him. And
so he's clearly a German Rott.
Oh, yes. He's a very big boy. And there's no shame in his game.
You have bacon? You have bacon?
Yep. He would be sitting there drooling. There'd be a puddle of drool on the floor just from him sitting there going, feed me. So, yeah, but I mean, you know, it's a good balance, I'd say. But
back to the menu.
Oh, go ahead.
Chocolate gravy.
I was wondering about the chocolate gravy because I haven't had it yet,
but how can I forget that?
Yeah, we forgot we still have chocolate gravy.
I think that's probably a staple because I've never even seen chocolate gravy before.
Yeah,
that's definitely a Appalachian thing where I grew up. That's
really?
Chocolate gravy and biscuits.
Well, we made it on, what was that? Appalachian
Trails.
On Facebook.
Oh wow!
There's like
I'm hip to that.
Yeah,
there's like 600,000 followers, and somebody posted, "OMG, just went to Vittles and Grits in Lawrenceville, Ohio, and had chocolate gravy and biscuits." And then there was like 300 comments on it.
That is fantastic. Social media is huge.
Yeah. Social media.
You can reach so many people so fast. Like I could literally, even an hour and 20-minute podcast, I could put this online, and then the next week, like 20,000 people listen to this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's like I told her. I said, I guarantee you, once this podcast goes out.
Man, I hope.
I think so.
I hope you guys are like, I don't know what to do. I hope you guys get.
If we franchised or opened a second place, it would have to be a small place in a small town.
It just goes back to that homey feeling because
that is huge.
I want people to be able to come in, sit down, take their time, eat, socialize.
So, like for Easter, for instance, we were closed to the public for Easter. We invited a bunch of our customers
to have
Easter dinner on us.
That's fantastic.
We loaded up the bar full of pies, cakes, ham, green bean casserole, rolls.
Matt and Erin did not invite me to that.
You were invited. You just didn't
Continue. No, I'm just playing.
But
a lot of people we invited too that were regulars that we knew that come in by themselves.
Yeah, yeah, for
don't
sure.
have family.
Yeah,
And that's so
we're
cool.
going to cook, and it's like, just come on in.
Yeah,
That's so
And
awesome.
I thought maybe, I cooked enough to feed an army,
Yes.
and it was from 11 to
3 or 11 to 2.
11 to 2 or something, and it was 11 o'clock. And I'm not gonna lie, nobody was here yet, and I was almost in tears. I'm like,
Well, it's
I made all
church day.
this-
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yeah.
So after
I was
church,
I made all this food, and nobody's gonna show up. And about 11:15, they started rolling in, and I made 12 pans, aluminum pans of sides.
holy smokes!
And by the time everybody left, I had 2 pans. I condensed
That's
everything into
fantastic.
2 pans. Yeah.
See, that's cool, man. Because that's not like a hey, come out and give me money. That's like a hey, I appreciate you guys. I want you to have something nice.
Our whole
spend
thing,
time with people.
our whole thing on it was, we were going to cook anyways, and we put a little Easter basket at the end of the bar, and we had people walking in off the street. Hey, are you guys open? No, we're not open, but go ahead and get yourself a plate of food. And how much is a plate? Look, buddy, if you got 50
on us,
cents,
dog.
we put a donation jar at the end.
Sure.
Hey,
You wanna
if you want to donate something, if you ain't got it, I'm not worried about it. Just get yourself some food and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Scotty, he wanted to come up. That was the other thing. Pendleton's, he was like, well, you guys are going to be closed Easter Sunday? Well, where am I going to go eat?
Yeah.
What am I going to have to eat?
You're going to come up here still.
Yeah, so I was like, well, you can come up here.
Because we were originally
He
going to
donated the hams. He donated 3 huge hams.
And potatoes.
And a big thing of
50
potatoes.
pound bag of potatoes.
Holy smoke!
But
Yeah.
we were going to close on Easter Sunday, and we were probably just going to sit at home and watch TV and be lazy. And she was like, you know what? She goes, no, we got to have something for our customers. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And
That's cool, man.
I always have her back even though some things I'm just like, okay, let's do it. But
That's because you're old enough now that you realize that sleep on the couch is not good for your back.
I love sleeping on the couch. Me and the couch is best friends, actually.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah. She tells me all the time I snore like a freight train, so you need to go to the couch. I'm like, I'll just start out on the couch, that way I don't get woken up.
Yeah.
But
So what if you could give advice to someone who is wanting to go for the American dream, and their dream is to have a restaurant or a food truck or some place of, food service
Right.
to their community. What is some piece of advice? What is like a couple of things that you would tell them to do or not to do
I would
that
say,
should help them?
First of all, know who your customer's going to be.
Okay,
That's
so know your
important.
target audience.
Right.
That's important.
Because,
yeah.
We could have opened this up and put a Mexican food in here or Italian, or that's not what this area wants.
Nope.
It's not what they needed,
That's
So
fair.
you have to know what people want and what they're looking for, and be willing to change
know your community and adapt to it.
and adapt. I thought day one we had hot dogs on the menu. These great big huge all beef hot dogs. I butterflied them,
I'm
put
all
them
about
on,
it.
They
Put it
look
on
so
the griddle.
delicious.
grilled the bun, loaded them up.
Super good hot dog.
They didn't sell.
Nobody wanted.
Not once.
Nope.
Not one person bought a hot dog. So you take it off
No
the
more hot
menu.
dogs.
Yeah, no, you can't be offended by stuff. If people have suggestions, listen. And just be
Good
willing
advice.
to change.
Don't be afraid to take a loss, because you're going to lose. You're going to lose some. You're going to lose some for the first couple months.
Yeah, don't quit when the losing starts.
No,
Yeah.
because it's like I told her. I don't expect, even still to this day, and like I said, we're only 3 months into this. I don't expect us to get a solid grip on our food cost for at least a good year, because the variety changes. The customers, they like this, they like that.
You haven't have enough data to see some sort of
So it's don't be afraid to take a loss, and don't let the loss, if you do have one, bring you down. Because and don't switch up all the time. don't be afraid to switch up, but don't switch up your menu constantly.
Yeah.
You know, see what works for you, what doesn't, and run with it. If you got good, it's like I always say, if you got great food, great service, people will come back. So if you treat them the way that you would treat your mom, the way you would treat them with respect, and just take time to talk to them, get to know them.
I think that's huge. Like for me, my thing has been even if my food is just decent, if they show up and they feel super welcomed and like they just enjoy the atmosphere and the conversation, or maybe not the conversation, depending on the person, read your people real good.
Mm-hmm.
That speaks way better than if you go somewhere it's uncomfortable, you didn't enjoy yourself, but the food was good.
And I just think the menu for the location we're in, it just somehow, I don't know, maybe it was by God's grace that it just fell hand in hand. I mean, our menu is perfect for our location.
It is fantastic.
And I agree. It's just one of those things where it's like, we couldn't have asked for a better community to serve. Because all
the people here are great.
Yeah. I mean,
they really are.
They are.
I mean, I'm not saying nothing bad about in town in Springfield, but
no,
how many restaurants can you go in and say, "Oh, my card ain't working. Well, I ain't got no cash on me. Yeah.
Give me next time you come in."
Hey, guess what? I had a guy come in today. Our card machine was down, but he's one of my regulars. I said, "You know what, Justin? Pick me up on Thursday, dude, when I'm open." He goes, "I'll come in and pay on Thursday." I said, "Yeah, man, I'm not worried about it."
And 100% he will be here Thursday.
Oh, he's a regular.
No question about it.
You know, I mean, we had a guy and his family come in here, and it was like a $64 bill. And here, that's a lot.
Yeah. It is.
People,
it is.
When I say 50 or 60 bucks, people are like,
yeah, that's like 5 people full meals.
Yeah, that's like walking out of here full.
Yeah.
So his card wasn't working. He called his card. He had money on his card. Well, Pat was going through an update. Well, he went to the ATM at the corner store. He called me from the corner store. He goes, "Hey, I'm going to go to Right Pat and get the cash out. I'm so sorry about this." I said, "Hey, man, I'm not worried about it. Just hit me up next time. If you can't get it, I'm not worried. You know, I know you'll be back. I got you." And he came back, paid me for his bill, and took 2 pieces of cake to go.
Yeah.
You know, it's just we live we live in a community that is awesome. And you know, especially with this car show coming up, it's the first time this has ever happened. This is going to be, it's scary, but it's cool.
June 10th, man.
Yep, it's scary, but it's cool.
Lawrenceville, Ohio, June 10th. You're not going to be able to drive down through here. You're going to have to park somewhere and walk, but it's going to be a good time. That's true.
The other thing I would say is,
what's up?
Don't hesitate if you want to do something.
Yeah, quit your job, sell your Harley, sell your house, and go for it.
Yeah,
you're right. That's huge. Because that's my big thing. Is like there's a lot of stuff I wanted to do. Like I've been wanting to do a podcast for years, but I'm always like, I don't really have a lot of time. Excuse. And the thing about this whole podcast called The American Dream, that's not, you don't get the American, whatever you consider the American Dream, right? Where the whole idea is that we're free people and we can do whatever the hell we want.
Yep.
Right? To make us happy. If you don't take a risk and you just make excuses, you will never have, quote, the American dream, whatever it might be.
I've always wanted to do food, restaurant, something in that realm. And I started in pharmacy.
How excited were you to go to work every day in pharmacy?
I was excited the first 15, 20 years. But the last, 5 years, I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I'm going to work and pay bills and that's it.
That's it.
Like,
no fulfillment.
No. And I just, something clicked and I woke up and I said,
we're selling everything.
I'm not getting any younger. Do it now.
That's fantastic.
If it fails, I'll go back to
pharmacy. We'll go right back to, that's it.
And what's crazy about it is when she told me about this idea, I called one of my mentors that I mentioned earlier, Bobby Hunter. He stopped in and we were working, and
it was the beginning of the remodel, so it's still
rough.
So when he walked in the door, I said, "Bobby, what's going on?" I went to give him a handshake and he goes, "Stop." He goes, "Just give me a minute." And so he's walking through and he's looking at every little nick and cranny, and he walks in the back and he comes out. He leans over the bar and he goes, "What's up, buddy? Good to see you." He shakes my hand. I said, "What's going on, man?" He goes, "So, you know I'm a straight shooter." He goes, "And you know I'm not going to BS you. And I'm going to tell you if you made a stupid decision." I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I think this is awesome."
Man, that's
He
great.
goes, "I think this is going to work." And I said, "Okay, well," I said, and he looked at Erin and he goes, "Sweetie, I get it. You don't want to work for him no more. You want to do your own thing." And he goes, "It's a ballsy move to just up and quit the pharmacy and go for your dream." But he goes, "I like it."
That's it.
And he goes, "That's what you got to do. You just got to go for it. Don't think twice about it. Don't second guess yourself, and just
go.
Just all in."
My previous job, when I turned in my notice, he offered to double my salary.
Stay on.
Double.
Gone.
She
Double
said,
my salary.
Not a chance.
Nope.
I'm out, bud.
No,
I said,
but
my mind's made up. I
That's
said,
great.
nope, I can't be bought.
one thing
That's
that,
fantastic.
and one thing that kind of stuck to me
That's
was
awesome.
you had to give him your resignation for him to double your salary. So
But why didn't he just do that before?
yeah, so it
I
was.
worked all these years.
You know why?
for-
Because you're working for someone else.
Yep. So
That's
it was.
why.
It was one of those things where it was like she said, "I'm done. Goodbye. Here comes the diner." And so, like I said, I was
That's
working at
so
the shop
cool,
at the
dude.
time, and I was working at the shop, and then I quit working at the shop and come over here and work here a little bit. And finally, I looked at her. I said, "You know what? I want to get on board with this. I want to quit my job and come
And you
here."
have to be 100% too. That was the
You got to
other
be
thing.
in, all in.
Is that because everybody's like, "Oh, you shouldn't quit your job at the pharmacy."
Yeah, what? How am I going to do this if I
You
don't?
need to, you should just remodel the diner like in the evenings and on the weekends, and then see how it goes. And then if it's a success, then you can quit the pharmacy. And I'm like, no, this is what I want. It's all or nothing. It's not going to succeed unless I give it 110%.
Yeah, well, you got to think about it. If you're working in the pharmacy and you're like, "Oh, well, I'll do this part time for a little bit," blah. Here's the problem. You are still comfortable enough at the pharmacy that you can mentally talk yourself into basically half-assing what you're doing here.
Right.
Because you have a fallback.
Right.
Dude, you quit.
Oh,
Your only source of income at this point is this place, so you better make it happen. It's
Absolutely.
a totally different approach to it.
Well,
So,
and it's like I say, we went from 3 employees the first day we opened
yeah.
to 3 months in now, and we're up to what, 8, 9?
Yeah, 10 with Jace. Yeah.
10, 10 employees, which is cool.
Yeah, and that's something else cool is you're providing money for other people to have a life
Yes,
too.
and
That's cool.
I think it's cool because
It helps our system too.
it helps, and
Where's your self-checkout line, guys? Where's your self-checkout line?
we don't have one of those
Yeah.
yet. I haven't thought of everything.
We're gonna put a griddle off to the side.
Yeah,
to
have
cook your own
fun.
food.
Yeah.
Here,
Some
grill-
people's business motto is that. Like BlackRock, you
Yeah.
have to make your own stuff. Like, what?
And
But you pay me to make
and
your
pay us
stuff, yeah.
$30.
Yeah.
we didn't know. But I mean, it's just so cool that we actually took, because we were scared on hiring employees at
Sure.
first. We're like, man, can we?
Something happens, we have to be able to pay them. It's
Yeah, like
for sure.
Can we afford this? Can we do
Yeah.
this? And we took the leap, and I mean,
That's so
things
cool.
have been good, and we're pushing right along. I mean,
And
this
I
is
think
it for us.
We
This-
try to
this
treat
is our life.
We treat our employees the way we want to be treated, and
For
try
sure.
to appreciate.
You have to.
Well, and another
And I
thing,
think
If your employees
that
are
helps
happy,
with our turnover.
they'll work better. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
and I think
Yeah,
I think our employees, like Tisha said, Tisha works at Cracker Barrel too.
Yeah.
She loves working here for me and Erin more than she does at Cracker Barrel.
Yeah,
She
it's-
says, she goes,
Small
"Matt,"
local
she
business,
goes-
man. The
she
way
goes-
that tree is better.
She goes, I make more tips here than I do working at Cracker Barrel. She goes, and that's sad because that's a big establishment.
Yeah.
But she goes, I love working with you guys. I have fun. I love your customers. I love the vibe you guys have.
It's great.
As far as the journey here and where we're at today, I am 120%, even though I'm not a morning person, once I get up and moving, I'm happy in my element. I'm
And,
happy
dude, that's
working
it.
here.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
I told Brittany, like, there's a difference in paying bills and being completely unhappy, and paying bills, making a little less money, but enjoying life, like having a purpose, like caring about what you do, having a passion for what you. It's a big deal,
Mhm.
and it sucks. It took me until I was 37 to figure this out, but
I'm right there with you.
yeah,
45.
yeah.
there with you.
Let's do the last segment, which is I call it the frying pan.
Okay.
The frying pan is I'm gonna shotgun you guys just a few questions.
Okay.
Just
Quick.
rifle off the answer.
Okay.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite ice cream?
Strawberry.
Butter pecan.
Ooh, okay. If you are going out to dinner right now, where are you going?
Olympic and getting a big.
Ooh, I love their Greek salads.
Yes,
I would have to
that's what I
say
get every
breakfast
time.
burrito from Victor's Tacos.
Oh, that's one of my favorites, dude.
Yes.
The chorizo. Oh man.
Yep.
So good, so good.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite hobby?
Buying guns.
That's a good hobby. That's a good hobby. I didn't know that was a hobby. That's a good hobby.
I like kayaking or anything on the water.
Ooh, okay. Anything
on
water
water is
based?
good, yeah.
Okay. Favorite meal? Favorite thing to eat?
Lasagna.
I was gonna say lasagna.
Oh,
For
there
him.
you go.
Not for me.
I don't
yeah.
have a favorite. I like to try new stuff. I'll eat anything.
Okay.
So
If there's one food that you have not tried that is on your bucket list you want to eat, what is it?
Ooh, that's a tough
Just to
one.
help you along, mine for sure is a Wagyu tomahawk steak.
I was gonna say Wagyu beef, something.
Is that the
Yeah.
expensive?
So
Like the
perfectly
grass-
marbled. Oh,
okay.
dude.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a restaurant in Columbus, and they bring
Here we go.
They bring it out in a glass display case hanging.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's like $200 and some dollars.
I'm in.
It's literally a
They're
glass
huge
display
too, man.
case,
Oh,
and it's hanging on a hook in there, and they wheel it out to your table.
I would have to say food that I have not tried that I want to try. I haven't tried alligator.
Okay, alligator's delicious.
Yep, I haven't tried alligator.
Favorite musician?
There's so many.
I like old country.
Okay.
I'm happy with anything.
We talking
old country.
Waylon? We talking old
Yeah.
original Willie?
I like it all. Willie.
Or like old country, like Gene Autry?
I can even listen to that. I like bluegrass.
Me too, I love bluegrass.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Steel Drivers. I don't even listen to Steel Drivers, but
I'm a music variety.
I do too. There's no type of music I don't like except for polka.
But
I don't like
if,
polka.
if I had to pick Bryan Adams, Summer of '69.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I like Foreigner, Def Leppard, AC/DC, Metallica, Three Doors Down, Breaking Benjamin. But
I'm with you, man. I listen to like
I
everything.
listen to
Blues,
everything, yeah.
bluegrass, country, screamo, death metal. Like,
Yeah.
that's everything,
Rocky
dude.
Top, Tennessee. Yeah, Osborne Brothers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
So, I'm a variety, but favorite song that I can rock out all day long is Bryan Adams, Summer of '69.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys
Yeah.
taking I know this is like the start of your weekend, if you will.
Yeah,
You guys are out
Friday.
tomorrow. Yeah. So I've taken up a lot of your time, and I appreciate you sitting down with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Been fun.
yeah, it's been awesome. I
Yeah.
got to learn some new stuff about you guys too, and hopefully everybody will hear this and they'll get out here, check out Vittles and Grits. I think you guys have great food. I love your guys' food. I haven't done chocolate gravy yet. I will do chocolate gravy the next time I'm out here for sure.
I'll whip it up.
And
It'll be on your bucket list. You can check it off.
I'll do chocolate gravy and biscuits and chorizo grits. If you guys have the chorizo,
Yeah, I gotta
love
make
chorizo
that.
grits.
I know. That's my favorite.
Yep, everybody loves the trees.
Oh yeah. So thank you guys very much, and
Thank you.
hopefully everything goes well. June 10th,
Car show.
car show, food, new cars, raffles, super good times, little
yeah.
street fair type action.
Yep.
That's awesome. Man.
Absolutely. So.
Cool. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much.